That's one way to do a recoupling.
And Tommy is taking no prisoners.
Hello and welcome to Love Island the morning after, the best place to go to get all the gossip from the villa. I'm Amy Hart.
And I'm Indiyah Polack. And last night, the boys were bringing all of the drama. Joe, you're back again this morning.
I am. I'm Joe Bags.
So excited to get into it. I mean, what were the boys doing yesterday? What was going on?
It was a hot mess. It was massive. It's been. I've said that every day you've asked me. It's been mess all week, and mainly from Scott and Charlie. Well, I thought the Scott thing was a little bit messy, but I like Scott's mess.
Yeah,
because it's entertaining mess, and it doesn't typically hurt a lot of feelings mess.
I think we should talk about the main mess maker, Charlie.
Yes.
Let's get into it.
Now, the whole villa is getting involved in the love triangle. And I feel like it's the absence of many other love triangles. They're like, oh, this looks fun. I'll get involved.
Do you not feel like there's like core, sorry to cut you off, like core focuses in like the Love Island villa where there's not too many like compatible couples. So they're all chiming in. It's really strange this year with the dynamic.
Yeah. They haven't got their own thing to talk about. So they're like, this looks fun. Like,
I feel like that usually happens.
Let's provide some social commentary on this.
Yeah, it usually happens. Like, I usually see in Love Island, like, once people start getting serious, all the people that are unserious start to shake.
Yeah.
Because now their place becomes uncertain. It's like, well, actually, I'm not secure, so let me go mess up something else.
Right, okay, fine.
That's usually what it kind of gets like, you know? It's kind of people are fighting for their place.
It's getting messy.
It's getting messy.
Yeah. Now, Jess is getting upset, bless her, because obviously nobody else is really pulling her for chats anymore. Charlie's pulling her for chats, snogging her, and then picking Millie. Jess hasn't had a great day. Like, she was so upset all day. And I feel like it started where she was a bit like, I don't really understand what I'm doing wrong. Everyone's getting to know each other. And she hasn't really had much going on. Like, what do you think is happening?
For one, I don't really think she necessarily had much heat on her anyway. I don't think anyone's really got a problem with Jess. I think she's just getting to know Charlie. Millie also does not have a problem with that. Charlie definitely doesn't have a problem with that. I think everyone's got a problem with Charlie not being completely honest in his approach with how he's, you know, carrying out this triangle.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem. Shaq is doing basically the same thing, but it's fine. I don't really feel like Jess is being completely herself. And I know it sounds like a strange thing to say. Like, I know her really well. It's giving parasocial relationship. But from her series to now, I've noticed she's been a bit more muted. And I think we've seen the light come back in her getting to know Charlie. And I think this has maybe been a setback quite early on that she wasn't expecting this time around.
So do you just think it's just that there's nothing wrong with her? It's that everyone else, maybe they thought that, like Will did on day one when her and Tommy were coupled up. It was like they wanted to couple up. They did get coupled up by the public.
Yeah.
Amazing. Like, crack on, have a nice time. We're going to all get to know each other now. Do you think that's why, apart from Charlie, nobody else has really gone to her?
Probably. I feel like when you close yourself off so early on, it does make it a bit awkward when your like ship starts to go left and then, you know, you're looking around and everyone's like, well, actually, you didn't want me before. And I don't want to feel like second best, you know? So I think that's what it is. I don't think it's anything personal to do with Jess.
Yeah.
Again, like Charlie likes to say, what, we're on day 5. It's early days. And I think for Jess, I think it's time for her to move on from both Charlie and Tommy.
Totally.
And now we're sitting on the, you know what, building up my relationship with the girls and waiting for a new bombshell.
Yeah.
Like both of these boys.
I think her plan of attack from the end of the episode, like you said, is completely right.
Yeah.
It's move away from it. Yeah, solidify your friendships, and there will be someone coming in that I'm sure
100%.
she'll be able to chat
Yeah,
to.
because it's all just getting a bit too messy now.
Yeah.
And I feel like whatever happened with her and Tommy didn't need to happen, but I do feel like she jumped the gun as soon as Charlie started giving her some attention and didn't realise that she was actually ignoring Tommy. Now Charlie's actually pied you off. And it's like, well, Tommy doesn't want you anymore.
It was just a lack of communication.
It was a
I
lack of
think.
communication, a lack of consideration. And I think that is what's going on in here. There's no communication and there's no consideration for other people's feelings.
And then I must say, I mean, Scott then pulled people up on that and everyone seemed to have a problem with Scott. Not me turning into a Scott fan page over here.
You're a Scott stan.
I just think he was calling people out on their behaviour that he noticed. And,
Yeah, 100%.
you know,
I think it's great for us to watch. And you know,
I mean, I don't think he was wrong per se. Like, again, it's good entertainment for us. And I feel like when Scott doesn't see something he doesn't agree with, he'll be the first person to call it out. But like Shaq said, maybe just mind your own business.
Yeah.
Like, what does this have to do with you?
But you know what? Sometimes it's quite nice to be in other people's business.
It is,
Like,
you
look
know?
at me. I've spent 24 hours
Look at us.
in the Beckham's business.
In the Beckham's business.
Right.
I have been all up in Brooklyn Beckham's business for the past 24 hours. And so I'm kind of like Scott in that sense. I think it's okay.
Everyone loves a good bit of gossip,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, it
Brooklyn-
keeps the world going.
Brooklyn, if you want to come on the pod, You're very welcome. We've literally got a seat.
A spare seat?
We'll get you a bottle.
Yeah, we'll get you a bottle. You can come. We don't have to tell anyone else what you say.
There will be no inappropriate dancing.
No.
None. I promise.
Do you think if nobody else had got involved, then it would have actually played out quite nicely? Because, you know, Jess and Charlie were going to tell Millie. Millie seems actually quite okay with it. It was more the sort of like the fire pit drama and like Scott shouting at people. That was what sort of fanned everything and made it a lot more dramatic. And I mean, at this point, I would say that it's less of a triangle and more of a throuple. Because like Millie said, didn't she? I'm still going to get to know you. I'm just not going to kiss you.
Yeah.
And yes, I feel like they don't really mind.
They don't
It's everyone
care.
else getting involved and causing it to be drama.
Yeah. I do completely agree with you. I think that, but even Scott's comments and obviously Jess pulling Whitney and Belle upstairs, for them to say, no, I think you should go speak to Millie yourself.
Yeah.
Obviously that then instigated even more drama. And I think that if it was, I want to say at Charlie's pace, but he wasn't really doing
He was
much
taking
of the communicating.
ages.
Yeah. But yeah, as you've said, they were fine with it.
Yeah.
You know, like they're okay to be where they are. They just, one of them wants to be picked by Charlie.
Part of me is like knowing Millie, if she's this okay with it, does she actually like him that much? Because I feel like if she really, really liked him, she'd be 10 toes down. Like, what are you playing at?
Yeah.
You're kissing someone before recoupling. You're making me look like a bit of a tit. Or is she just like, oh yeah, let's just see how this goes. But if a bombshell comes in that I like, you can go off with Jess.
Yeah, I
don't
think
know.
so. I think also Millie's not trying to do too much too soon. Because
Which we love.
yeah, it's early. I think the way he did go about it, maybe it wasn't the best, you know, because I feel like if he didn't even have that conversation with Belle, how soon would you have told Millie that you kissed Jess? Because you went the whole entire day.
Guys, why did Belle feel the need to tell him off before Millie?
Yeah, it kind
And
of
she
took it
didn't-
away from
yeah.
Millie though, which was unfair because now when Millie comes to speak to Charlie, it's like, okay, I know what you're going to say. I can prepare myself and whatever, which is like, I don't think it was Belle's place to say anything.
The oven was preheated.
Yeah.
And in a fight, I like to go in cold.
Right.
Shock my person that
I
I'm
just
attacking.
see your reaction.
I want to take them by surprise.
Yeah.
Belle went in there, turned it to 180 and sat there for 5 minutes.
Yeah, she stole that
I
from
wasn't
Millie.
keen on that.
Yeah,
No.
which I think was very strange because she had the conversation with Whitney and Jess upstairs and they're all saying you need to go and speak to Millie. So why are you coming out of the girl code to go and speak to Charlie?
We were quite unsure, weren't we? And we both sort of misheard it and then realised what she'd said. When Whitney was walking down the stairs, she was like, yeah, that wasn't on, it wasn't on, it's just not good, it's not good behaviour and stuff. And we were like, oh, she's talking about Charlie. But it wasn't, she was talking about Jess.
Yeah.
Right.
She was like, our friendship would be done if she did that to me.
I think, but you know what? I
fine.
definitely get where Whitney's coming from in the sense where it does take two to tango. And as much as Charlie did whatever, Jess, you hold some responsibility because you are friends with Millie and you do know that Millie is speaking to him. All the girls are friends, I'm assuming. So as much as like Charlie has responsibility, so does Jess to a point because
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
do know that he's speaking to Millie and they're kissing and it's like, just keep your friends in the loop, I guess.
Oh, if I was in Love Island, you best believe if I kiss someone, I'd just be running to tell the other
Yeah, but
person
oh, by
just
the way-
purely out of entertainment in there. Not even girl code. I would just be like, I now have information that no one else has.
Yeah.
And then to top it all off, after he kissed her on the terrace, Charlie then picked Millie in the recoupling and left Jess stood there on her own. And unfortunately, someone else was ready to give her a bit of a reading at the fire pit.
Yeah.
6 weeks of all-stars romance, iconic pairings, unforgettable moments, and standout pre-love fashion is almost near. With our newest cast now revealed, it's only right to pay homage to the eBay pre-love looks that have shaped Villa fashion history so far. From Gabby and Elma's Wonder Doll Heidi Coord in Love Island All-Stars Series 2 to Liberty's instantly recognisable Jean Paul Gaultier two-piece, pre-love fashion has always played a starring role. These are pieces with lore, personality and individuality, worn in ways that feel uniquely Islanders. Ekin-Su elevated her date night look with an authenticity guaranteed Prada bag, while brands like I Am Gaia continued to dominate, with Islanders such as Georgia and Helena adding their own spin. It's not just the girls either. The boys are also bringing elite pre-love sneakers plus authenticity guaranteed bags, loafers and accessories into the Villa this season too. All thanks to eBay, sponsors of Love Island All-Stars. So Tommy picked Jess.
Yes.
And it was a bit of a recoupling speech out of the ordinary, not one that we often see.
Yeah.
Normally, you know, if someone's going to be a bit brazen at the fire pit, they might allude to someone who, you know, has wronged the girl that's left. But nobody's ever really, like, attacked the person that is at the front of the fire pit.
It was a unique approach.
Yeah.
And we were conflicted talking about it because I understand Jess's perspective of being there. It's hard being on your own. It's difficult being like the last one chosen. And she was obviously emotional from what she's gone through in the day. But then I also found what Tommy said valid in the sense that I thought the comments about him living at home were a bit unfair. And I felt they were quite late on in their talking and getting to know each other stage.
Yeah.
And given the lack of communication he felt and very much shoved to the side, I could understand both sides. But I do understand why Jess got upset afterwards. I would have
100%.
definitely been upset.
Yeah, I think especially because when Jess did say all these things to Tommy, it wasn't a private conversation. It wasn't around the fire pit.
Yeah.
However, I won't say I 100% agree with Tommy doing it around the fire pit, but in the grand scheme of things, what else would he have said?
Yeah.
Because if he did pick Jess and then had this conversation privately, what would his recoupling speech be? Oh, I'm just going to pick you, but I really want to talk to you later about what's actually going on.
Yeah, of course.
And also, then is it a bit snaky? Like if he'd been like, yeah, this girl's beautiful, like she's great, she's got great personality, and I'm excited to be coupled up, and then pulled her to one side and been like, you're out of order, like you've done X, Y, Z. And then everyone's like, why didn't you say that before?
That's what I mean. The first thing that everyone would have, the first thing everyone would have said was, well, what do you mean about your recoupling speech? Jess would have been like, you said all those nice things, so you're not doubling down on that. And there would have been a further argument.
Yeah.
So sometimes ripping the Band-Aid off and rubbing salt in the wound, doesn't feel nice at the time, but sometimes needed.
And then also, not to add salt into the wound, Tommy wasn't even aware of the fact that she had kissed Charlie on the terrace.
Does he still know?
Well, he probably,
I think he probably overheard.
He probably overheard.
Right,
but at that moment when he was giving his recoupling speech, he was not aware that she had been on the terrace kissing Charlie also.
Yeah.
So good thing maybe he didn't know, because maybe the speech would have been even worse.
I mean, I still await the day that someone goes, I would like to couple up with this girl because there is literally nobody else to pick.
I would say that. Why has no one else said it yet?
Yeah,
it's kind of obvious.
Yeah, standing up there by yourself and everyone staring at you, it's not good.
And getting telling off.
Getting a talk. Honestly, like, she's been pied off by Charlie and now you're getting cussed out by the person that you're in a couple with.
It was a rough day for our Jess, but I hope it gets better.
Yeah, she's got
the only way is up.
You know what? I wouldn't say they're enemies, but I think they have now gone back to acquaintances and just people living together in a villa.
Yeah.
You know, they're not, I wouldn't even say they're
It's a
friends
friendship
anymore
couple.
because I wouldn't want to be friends with you after that. There's just
No.
nothing.
Yes, they've got to share a bed awkwardly now.
I think this could
Pillow
have,
wall.
it could have potentially
Yeah.
been a friendship
Cohabitating.
if this conversation was happened before. Like, if maybe Tommy got this off his chest, like before the recoupling, they could have maybe had the option to turn it into a friendship couple. Or even when Jess realised she weren't interested. Do you know? Like when she said to him, like, the whole mum stuff, from then, Jess knew she wasn't interested in Tommy. So I think
it'll
from then,
take-
they should have turned it into a friendship.
It'll take a bit of time, I
Yeah.
think. But he's quite a jokey, harmless person. And what's wrong with that?
No, but it's just the thought of you saying he's harmless. Like,
No, but he's...
He just stood and shouted at her.
No, but he's
Oh,
like...
he didn't mean it.
I
He didn't mean it.
I don't think it was a dressing down.
No,
you know
no,
what I
no,
mean?
no.
Like, it definitely... I didn't sense much aggression, but...
no, he was just trying to be honest.
I think they're getting back into the flow of living in the villa and being and seeing each other. And I think they'll come to a point where it's super civil and fine.
100%.
I just don't think it was a good day to do it. But he didn't know.
No.
And he didn't know that she'd been kissed and pied and publicly humiliated.
Got married, pie without the marry.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
And so maybe he would have dialed it back a bit if he
Yeah.
did know.
Yeah.
It's hard, isn't it?
I'm just thinking AJ and Sammy were in the pull down beds in the lounge, and then Kieran and Charlie were asleep in a bed together. So they might be lucky and they might end up on the two single beds and not have to be like right next to each other.
Yeah, that's so
But that
fair.
wouldn't be fun, would it?
No.
So that wouldn't be fun for us.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we want to see
We
them
want-
build the pillow wall
want the drama.
and be like angry with each other.
Right, so some other recouplings that happened last night. Connor choosing Whitney, and obviously we saw immediately Jack's face. He was thinking, "Oh my gosh, we were just getting back on track." And now
They've
Whitney's
been
taken
snogging in
from
bed.
me. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really rooting for Jack and Whitney. Like at the start, I did think she was being quite frosty towards him, but we've gone to see that Whitney takes her a little while to come out of her shell,
Yeah.
and I really do see them bonding, and I really like it. I think it's cute.
Baby dads need love too.
Really don't understand why Connor's now gone and inserted himself. He's got to pick someone, but I don't think the conversation that him and Whitney was enough for him to be like,
No,
let's recouple.
But he hadn't had a conversation with anyone else.
Yeah.
So it was like, we've had one great conversation,
Let me do
1-0 basically,
Yeah.
1-0. So he picked Whitney, but as soon as he said like, this girl's made me feel really welcome, I was like, oh no, please don't.
Yeah.
Please don't. But I think it's actually really good for Jack and Whitney because like, it is very, like we said before, we love people that throw themselves into the Love Island
Yeah.
experience. And Jack and Whitney were coupled up. They had their sort of like little like argument at the beginning, and then they were like, right, let's really give this a go. Let's see if this works. And I think now having that time apart, because they're not going to be in bed together in the evening, where it's very easy to snog each other because you're literally this far away.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be really good for them because they're going to have to make the effort to spend time together and to connect, and they will realise whether or not it's actually worth pursuing.
Yeah, I mean, Whitney didn't look really too happy about it. So I feel like she really does actually like Jack now.
Yeah.
I think Connor did that as well because in his mind, I think he's really bombshelling. And I think he's like, this is really going to shake things up at this recoupling, guys. He's probably saying to everyone beforehand, like, you just wait. And I just think that his actions contradict his aura, his personality. That man is so lovely and so kind. And I just think that Bombshell and Connor do not go in the same sentence.
It's the way that he started his speech with, the other day I had to pick someone without knowing the situations that other people were in. So I'm really sorry about that. Like, he's apologising.
Yeah.
And then he's got 3 girls stood there. One of them is snogging the guy she's coupled up with in bed. It's like trying to get to know him. It's like seeing if there's a connection. The other 2, one's like other half has just been picked by someone else, and the other one is single. So who am I going to pick? The one that's got a connection with someone? Like, why? Like, it just contradicts what you just said.
I know. He's trying. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Could you see any more in-depth chats between Connor and Whitney?
Personally, no. I feel like that is very much friendship level, but we don't know. Like, we don't know. Things might change. Whitney might actually give him a chance,
I think she'll eat him alive if they got together or got in a talking stage.
Honestly, I can't see it. But hey, we'll see. She
Yeah.
made him feel very welcome on the first day, and maybe this might just blossom into a nice friendship, and she'll wingman him.
I did also love, though, how Jack was like, Whitney was a bit like, oh, okay, thanks for picking me. And she sort of sat down and she was like, okay. And then Jack's like, I think I can see a connection with this girl. She had she had a bad day, but hopefully I can make it better. I'm like, Jack, stop talking.
Yeah.
You know what? I feel like I've started to realise between Whitney and Jack, they like to kind of like push each other's buttons. So it's obvious they like each other. But like we noticed in the challenge the other day, when Jack turned around and was like, yeah, I've got, the best, what was it? Sexually attracted to Millie, was it? What was the question?
Yeah, I think because Whitney got asked first, didn't she? And she said that it was Charlie. And then he had to kiss the person who's most sexually attracted to, so he kissed Millie.
But we soon realised that Jack only did that as a retaliation.
Yeah.
I don't think he is actually really sexually attracted to Millie. It's just because Whitney said it first.
Yeah.
So now obviously Whitney's been picked by Connor, which wasn't her choice.
No.
He's like, well, I've got to make it look like I've got other things to do and I'm interested in Belle. But you're not.
But treat him mean, keep him keen.
Yeah. It's working for both of them.
He's keeping her on her toes, and I think that they actually both seem like they like that.
Yeah.
And it's working.
Yeah,
They're
it's
having
working.
kisses in bed. And I didn't think I would see Whitney kissing someone this early on in this series.
She's really come out of her comfort zone.
She has. She's come out of her shell. She's going for it. So I think if it's working, then keep doing it.
Yeah. You keep doing it.
You keep doing it, sweetie.
Now, just as the kissing rules were made, they were broken. Shaq broke his no kissing in the night, no kissing in the day rule and kissed Helena in bed. Said that he didn't regret it because it was just natural.
Yes.
And he told AJ, and she was a bit like, oh, thanks for doing that.
Yeah.
But then she still picked him at the recoupling.
I mean, who else would you have picked though?
Exactly.
So fair, Indiyah.
I think that's the like really hard thing about this show is like you get put in an awkward position, but it's like, okay, you've kissed someone else, but I still like you and I've not been getting to know anyone else.
And we haven't seen a single other chat aside Shaq.
No.
So
Nothing.
naturally, that has to happen, yeah.
I think when situations like that do happen though, this is now gonna like click in AJ's mind to be like, okay, sis, let me get real and start speaking to other people.
Yeah,
Do you
which
know what
I
I
hope
mean?
she does. She's gone in even later than everyone else, and I still think it's super early. So she does need to cast that net just a little bit wider. There's a lovely man called Connor over there. He's trying to bombshell, have a chat with him,
Yeah. I mean, if Shaq did have the choice, who do we think he would have picked, Helena or AJ?
Helena.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
think
he broke the
Helena.
kissing ban with Helena, and AJ tried to break the kissing ban the day before, and he wasn't having any of it.
Yeah, it's just
and literally, we
factual.
said yesterday, like they're now all on the level playing field, and we'll know who he likes by the one that he kisses, and that was Helena.
And he said, I don't feel bad. It just felt natural.
Yeah.
Well,
And
it's
also-
taken me by surprise.
Yeah.
It really has. I didn't think Shaq and Helena would be a match, like
No.
at all.
And also, he did sort of, in a way, he didn't explicitly say, please don't pick me. But I feel like he was sort of not giving the vibes. And when AJ was in that really lovely speech,
Do you know when it's like, usually when someone's having a speech about you, you'll smirk naturally
Yeah.
or you'll get a bit giddy. Straight face.
Pure-
He was not trying to react.
Pure disassociation.
Like, he was literally looking
he
at
was
the
like,
floor
it might not be me. It might not be me.
And
It
then
might
the
not be me.
camera was cutting between him and Helena, and both of their faces, it was like forbidden love, Romeo and Juliet. They were both looking longingly into the distance, and I thought, this is peak for AJ right now.
I mean, I think this is how the best couples are built, though. Same as with like Jack and Whitney. Now they've been split apart,
Forbidden
and they're
love.
gonna have this time. Like Shaq is gonna really know, okay, yeah, I definitely want Helena, vice versa. You know,
And we might get the return of Hideaway Helena. Because obviously the rules of the Hideaway are you can't be in a couple, and now they're not in a couple.
I say
which
bring it back,
means-
girl. It's your brand. Bring it back. It did well.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to raise as well, because like we were saying, Charlie and Shaq are basically doing the same thing in different fonts. Now, with the difference with Shaq is that he's being honest. Like, do you think it's okay, the fact that, you know, Shaq went against his word and did kiss Helena, but he just told AJ about it?
Yes, because he's moving with honesty and integrity and a clear communication style.
agree.
And he's moving with purpose. And I'm not saying...
I feel like you're doing a motivational speech. I love it.
and you can come to my TED
Purpose.
Talk tomorrow morning. Whereas I feel like Charlie is playing it a little more on the playground side of just kissing and not telling.
Yeah.
And I think the issue with that is causing more emotional, you know, damage for everyone in the villa because everyone's finding out when, you know, the girls are finding out. Whereas with Shaq, he's actually sitting people down and explaining himself. And I think that it's reading a lot better. And that is why, you know, Helena and AJ are fine in this situation.
Exactly. And I think it's, you know, honesty is the best policy. Because at the end of the day, look, Shaq didn't regret it. He said it felt natural, but he told AJ, he's put his hands up, he's been honest. What more can he do?
Charlie could learn a lot from Shaq.
That's all for this morning. And also, that's all for Joe Bags. Thank you for joining us
Thank
this
you
whole week.
so much for having me. I
been
love
great.
doing this with you
We
girls.
love having you.
You're both incredible and you make me feel so welcome and I love it. So thank you so much for having me.
Well, we'll see you again soon. Don't worry, we're
I'm
not going
sure,
too far.
I'm sure you will.
We'll WhatsApp you tonight about the episode. And we'll be back here tomorrow morning. And make sure to leave us a comment, or as usual, you can email us at themorningafter@itv.com. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.